In this lecture, we will have an overview of class and object from a program structure point of view. Actually, this lecture also will serve as a review of all the program structure we have covered so far. First, let's look at one static method program. One static method is public static void main that we have been using for many times. All variables defined at the beginning of the main method. Simple program, no calling other methods. This serves as a elementary programming or sequential programming. Right here, very simple. We define some variable, print them out, some message and a variable, and we got such a result. This message may not make sense because it is used in later example. Right here, I just want to show you that the same output with different program structure, we will be able to do the same thing. And on this example, it's in the program OneStaticMethod.java. And second way to do program is static method only. It has the main program and some other static methods called by the main program. So global variable defined at the class property declaration region as static variables. Local variable defined at the main method and other methods, all called blocks. Use class name.method to call static methods, or use method to call the methods if only one class is used. Multiple classes, you can only use class name.method to call the method, similar to external functional call for structural programming language like C. This is equivalent to structural programming like C language. Right here, we have a main program like this. We call the two methods. We call the program static only test static method, program static only test object method with some parameter, and then the two program will be called. But doesn't get bothered by the name of the method. It's just a name, and we try to provide the same output as the previous result. But as you can see, here we use the three methods, one global variable, and it will provide the same result as the before. And we use this to access the variable, class name and the variable, and we use this to call the methods, class name and the method name. Right here, I show you another way of doing program with static method only with two classes. This program is a little bit more advanced than the previous program. The previous program we only have one class, one file, and this one we have two classes in two source files. One is considered as the external program call. Because the two classes are in the same package, there is no need to import. If they are in different packages, then the visibility modifier be specified as public. This is similar to external functional call in C language. Method.random call is considered one of such method call. Two classes are mutually dependent, closely coupled in my example. If they are independent, we call it uncoupled. Closely coupled programs are not considered to be safe. Right here we have two classes, one for main program with main, the other one a subprogram without main. And then in the main program we call two methods. One is local to the program static only to program. The other one is accessing the external call to the program static only to subprogram right here. So this one we do not pass any parameter, and you will call this method, and it's access a global variable static string right here. And the other one we have to call an external method right here and access an external variable right here. And then we also allow this subprogram to access the variable in the main program like this, and then we get the same result. But as you can see, these two classes are closely coupled. It is not safe in sense of maintenance. If the program been done for a long time, it is very easy that people forget who call who, and then there is a trouble for figure out how to maintain it, and it is not clearly specified in the specification of the software. Then we will have some trouble. That's why object-oriented programming become very popular because of its data encapsulation, abstraction, and some information hiding feature. Program structure using a static method but mixed style. In this program, we will use the Java static variable and Java static method, and we also mix some instance variable and instance method over there. Let's look at the example. The main program is right here. First, it calls a static method with static variable. Then it calls a instance method with instance variable. And this one called the instance method. And right there, this is the instance method, and you will execute it like this and get the instance variable right here. And this is the result. It is the same with the previous program structure, but as you can see, it's a little bit more complicated, but it mixes the static and non-static variable and method together in one module. Right here, I'm going to present another style called object-oriented programming, and it is data-centric. Right here, I only put the data here. One instant variable name, one instant variable static string, but it is only a name. I just want to let you compare the different program style. It is really not a static variable. And there is a class constructor, an overloaded class constructor right here. And then there are 4 methods: to getter, to setter. Getter is to return the data, and setter is to set the data. And there is another class, we call it tester class, for this object-oriented program, data-centric program. In this program, we initiate one object and then pass the object over here to set a string first and then get a string and print out. And then the other method similarly get the string and print it out, and then set another string name and then print it out. But this also get the same result. As you can see, this program is a little bit more complicated, but because the two classes are actually loosely coupled or even not coupled, it is better for, say, this data object, you can update it by yourself without knowing about who will use it. And this tester program, you can maintain by yourself and also program it according to your own need to get the data without knowing the data contents. But you get the same result as the previous programs. So download the zip file. I put it together for all of these methods in class and the object program.zip. Copy into the same directory and putting them together in one directory and try them out. And right here you can see some use relationship. This dash arrow is use relationship. Say test program object-oriented programming is using this data class program OOP, and these are different styles, and the name of the variables and the output we have seen so far are in different program structures. And in this lecture, I try to give the audience a picture of the many program structures that he might choose to use in Java. Some are simple, some are more complicated. The content and the output really do not matter that much, but the main point is I try to give you an overview of the different program structures that is allowed in Java. Thank you.